Today I'd like to kind of focus on toning out some of my pedals. I have kind of complicated pedal array, to say the least. I'm going to show you what it's like, show you my issue with it, and we're going to see if we can do something about it. So here's how my signal chain works. I go out of my DAW into reamps, come out of there. Channel 1 comes to channel 1 on my JC20, and then channel 2 comes through this input section and then uses this mono board for affecting. Then it comes back directly to channel 2, and so I can make that channel 2 into a stereo signal by using vibrato or chorus. And then I have a option to change between the JC120 and the digital delay there to use a different kind of stereo creation to do like a sample offset thing. This integrations pedal was hand built and it's a bit finicky. I need to see that light's a bit wacky. I gotta figure out why that's doing that. Anyway, then once it goes from that, it goes over to my stereo board, and here it kind of heads through a series of effects and then back out to the DAW through the ensemble. So that's kind of the basic setup. Here's my oscilloscope. Turn it on. Right now my issue is that when I send in the signal through the second channel of the JC120, I'm getting a distorted signal, and that seems to be different than when I send it through the DD3. So I'm wondering whether channel 2 here on the JC120 is distorting it, or it's something else in the signal chain that is causing it. Could just be that there's a gain structure issue, and so I'm going to work that out. So the first thing I want to try is just to replicate the issue that I'm having. So right now I have a guitar, and right now I have nothing. That's right. These are all turned down. I'm going to try with channel 2. Okay, now for sake of seeing how everything's doing, just channel 1. You can see there's a lot more signal on channel 1, so enough's coming through. So I at least should be seeing that much from the other side. Bring this back up. So I'm going to start adding some gain structure. I'm going to turn the GE7 all the way up, which I use as a boost. That looks like seems pretty good. I'm going to add some more gain with the Nauticlon. That's fine. Maybe add a little more gain with the Ringer Bringer Drive. There's some of the clip that I was talking about. If I switch over to the DD3 just to check level, and you know what? Well, the clipping sounds different. That may be just like the natural clipping. This one sounds a bit more brittle somehow. It's getting like this little bit of a tone on it. That's what I want to try to work out. I'm wondering why it seems to be adding some like high-end distortion. Anyway, I'm gonna go through this piece by piece. It's possible that I'm just clipping the front end of the preamps, and I want to try to figure that out. I'm gonna move some books here. I have a little issue with my oscilloscope. Right now I have this kind of strange wave going on. Don't know why. Even if I unplug the channels, it's still showing. Let me see what that looks like. It's just some noise. So I'm trying to figure out. Huh? Interestingly, I can get it settled down if I turn up the SWP VAR and turn my source to line. There's probably someone out there who knows what they're doing when it comes to this, but I've got it to calm down. I'm going to try to turn on the sine wave, see if I can get a sine wave showing. So my first task will be to open up a test oscillator. Stereo's fine. Oh yeah, that's nice and annoying. I'm going to put that through the outputs to the pedals. Turn it on one more time. Alright. Looks like I got a sine wave showing. That looks beautiful. Can I get it to be a little zoomed? There's the zoom. like that. Now I want to get that to distort by putting it through the chain. Let's first put it through dry and see what it looks like on the other side, huh? So this is the signal going through the whole chain. None of the pedals are on. It's right now it's going through the JC120. It's very quiet. This is what it looks like if you go direct. Here's channel 1. So right now both of the volumes are off. If I turn up the channel 1, you could see pretty similar pattern to what we were looking at as a direct line. And so this is what it looks like in channel 2. Just a lot less signal, obviously. Even all the way gained up, it's a lot less signal. That makes sense. It's going through a pretty long chain. I can do some things to remedy that by turning up on the ringer bringer the gain, and slowly we'll start to see that. This is what it does when you really push it, so it starts to distort the signal a bit in a cool way. We're not trying to do that, just trying to bring the signal up. Still not distorted. So if I turn on the GE7, which is just, right now, it's just working as a boost, you can see that I get a lot of signal, too much signal, so I'm going to bring that down to about right there. I feel like that's a good undistorted sound. Let me try this again. But I'm really curious to see when I switch between the JC120 and the digital delay, the volume is cut down a lot. And so what does that do then if I bring up the volume here? You have a distorted tone, but I don't want distortion. I want just straight tone. I also modified these TR2 so that if its depth is all the way down and I turn this side knob, it works as a gain. So it's another way to gain up the signal. Right now it's pretty good. Let me see what happens in this signal chain if I switch back to JC120. Clearly I'm distorting my input. It could be just that I'm gaining it too much for this guy on the input, but I don't see like any specific problems in my chain other than a bit of a volume bump on this guy. It actually looks like a pretty healthy signal. Just so you can see the difference, this is what the DD3 does. When we go straight through the DD3, oh, what's going on there? Oh, there it is. So the DD3 works as a bit of a delay shift, see that? So I can kind of create a stereo field if I wanted to, just by offsetting the sample a bit. That's how that stereo works. Okay, interesting. I think what's happening is that at some stage it's just distorting the input and there's just too much gain to the JC120. I feel like it's more balanced. I'm going to try a guitar through it, see how it feels. Turn off the reverb. Clearly a lot less versus. Let's turn all that stuff off. Huh. A little more complicated of a waveform, actually. I guess I didn't really have as much to worry about as I thought. I just needed to tone it out correctly so that I made sure that my levels are correct in going through the chain. I thought I had a distortion problem, but it's pretty okay as long as I keep my levels in the right place. This is obviously an issue when you have very complicated systems, but turns out just gain staging. That's it.